right, testing take one. Really hope this will work. I just downloaded OBS again seconds ago on this new old computer that's replaced a computer that died over the holiday season. So, what I want to do here is play the next game, although it's actually a game that I've held back in DoC hockey on the schedule. Although I guess here it looks like it's the final one. Yeah, no, that's right. I played Los Angeles and Chicago, so it is the final one. Sorry, according to the order on Hockey Reference for December 1st, 1992. I'm going to replay this game here between the Hartford Whalers and the St. Louis Blues. The reason why I'm replaying this game or choosing to have this game in particular recorded and uploaded as part of this project is because the last time that I played a game from this project, it was the Hartford Whalers going up against the Boston Bruins, who are looking to win or at least remain unbeaten for 16 consecutive games. And Hartford ended the Bruins streak with a dramatic 4-3 finish. So this time they're up against the St. Louis Blues, where in real life coming into this game, or after this game, I should say, Hartford would have had a record of 6-17-1, faring quite poorly in the 92-93 regular season. St. Louis with the 8-4 win, doubling up on Hartford, going to 9-12-4. I guess we can glance down at some. Actually, before I do that, I want to look at the records relative. So St. Louis a little closer to 500 in my replay so far, and Hartford has been overachieving big time here, 14-9-0 after 23 games. Not a good goals for and goals against. That could speak to Sean Burke's performance, but getting the start in net for this game actually is Frank Pietrangelo. Burke did come into the net in this game, but where Pietrangelo was handed the L. It's possible I've not seen the game itself, or if I have, I don't remember. So it's possible that maybe I don't know, Burke played one period and then Petrangelo the next two, but I'm going to go with his being in there for the first 40 minutes. I mean, I guess I could probably use the box score to check that. So yeah, 5 goals surrendered. That would have been the first 5 goals. So Petrangelo will get the start where Guy Hebert got the start for the St. Louis Blues, and I'm really, really hoping that this will work and that if you're watching this, not just listening, you will be able to see these players on the screen. Perhaps I can zoom out a little bit on these team cards. Maybe that's a little too much. I'll just scroll up and down a little bit as the game goes on. Hopefully that's fine. These are cards I've manually input the logos if anybody, again, is watching and not just listening and is interested. The DoC cards are not actually, they don't actually come with the team logos on them. So anyway, I've not yet shuffled. This will be the first period of this game, and sorry to anybody who prefers, as do I actually, for these, the more tactile settings with the actual cards and the laminated like rink board that I put underneath. But it's after midnight over here in South Korea right now, and I might want to play a couple more games actually in the December schedule, and I've got to get this one out of the way in order to do that. But this is the Hartford Whalers defending their TV YouTube championship right now. And again, I just really hope that this is working. We are now 3 minutes in, so it's definitely time to drop the puck on this. A few more shuffles just for good measure. And away we go with it, where that red 2 is going to mean that the first sequence will go to a St. Louis team player. 10 and 7. 10 and 7. Okay, it says Los Angeles Kings at the top. That's just because in Canva how I saved it. Please ignore that. This is the St. Louis Blues. That's going to distract me now, though. But no going back now. So for the team player, uh, ace or 10, actually, no. So St. Louis cannot maneuver it to anybody in scoring position. For the second sequence, it's Hartford. But 4 and 3, basically that's just giving the puck away in unsuccessful sequence. So St. Louis picking it up in sequence 3. I've said this before in other videos. With the Jack, I could do an automatic injury, but I'm not going to. So we are 7.5 minutes in. Where the 2 King 6, looking at Hartford's team here, they need also an ace or 10 to make a play, much like St. Louis. So we are 10 minutes in here. Whoops, I have to burn 2 cards here. We are 10 minutes in with, oh no, I didn't do it over here. Okay. This was a mistake, but you're capturing it in real time, and I'm fully admitting it. So what might have been here with these 2 team cards burnt? It doesn't matter. Whatever. I shuffled them differently. So it's going to be Joker in 3. Red Joker, so I'm going to award that to Janney. And Janney with the 3, he's going to maneuver the puck too. I believe that would be Brett Hall. This should be pretty much a done deal, and it is. So it's Brett Hall from Craig Janney scoring, making it 1-0 St. Louis. And the queen of clubs is Bob Basson out on the ice, I guess, for a late shift, picking up a secondary assist. So I'll update the stats in real time. This is one advantage that over the just showing the actual cards and cards. Really, it's a paper game offline. So that was Janney. He's up to 38 points now. Um, Brett Hall with his 19th, and it was Basson getting the secondary helper, so that's 7 points now for Bob Basson. I'm not going to update the stats or anything, the penalty box, like I've done in past videos. I'll just let this one stand on its own and for itself. So 5 and then 7, that's Rich Sutter unable to play it through, so we will burn 2 cards and move on to the next sequence here. We are 15 minutes into the first period, up to the 17 and a half minute mark. The King of Clubs, we have to do a check of Hartford's team defense. So that indeed will be 4 for St. Louis. 4 is Ron Wilson. Ron Wilson, he plays it to 6 on St. Louis. That is Bob Basson. Basson looking for another point, and it's the Queen of Spades. So we check Frank Pietrangelo's card here. Kings, Queens, and Jack of Hearts. So that is a goal for Bob Basson, making it 2-0. Not at the horn, but 7 of 8 sequences into the first period. So Basson here with his 4th. And that was Wilson, who's overachieving offensively, playing the puck to him. And 8 of Hearts with a secondary assist for St. Louis is going to be RN. That would be Ron Sutter. So Ron Sutter picking up point number 16 on the campaign. One more sequence to go in the first period where it could be St. Louis again, a team player. But as we saw earlier, they need an ace or a 10 to set up anybody with a chance to score. So after 20 minutes, it is 2-0 for St. Louis. And another way that I can check that here in between shuffles, I'll just show that so they should have 92 goals now scored for the team, and they do, whereas they came into this game with 90. So that's one way that I can keep track of it here. St. Louis, whoops, that's the Smythe division, has 90 goals on the season. So a few more shuffle clicks and start the second period. Let me see how many minutes we are into this now. 7, okay. So a lot of team player cards have come up in this, but 2-10-9. But again, St. Louis needing this. So 10, that would be like, let's say, probably Brett Hedican here on the St. Louis bench. But with the 9, again, St. Louis needs an ace or a 10, which is rare, actually. So 2 more, the chance player and then the scoring attempt, they are burned from the sequence, which is what I should have done off the hop in the first period, right off the bat. Adam Burt with the puck here for Hartford up to the 5-minute mark with a 5 and a 2. So not getting a good shot off there was Michael Nylander, but Hartford maintains possession. 6 and ace is automatically through. 9 and Red Jack. Let's look at Guy Hebert. Hebert, Kings and Red Queens. So Hebert has made a big save on Mark Janssens for Hartford. And at the 10-minute mark here in the second period, now 6 and the Kings and Queens will penetrate the Blues defense. So that is Michael Nylander for Hartford. Nylander through to Queen for Hartford is Murray Craven. Nylander to Murray Craven with a 4. Craven 4 will score, so it's a 2-1 hockey game. Craven from Nylander, and the 10 of clubs is, let's see here, Craven again. So just the 1 point, 1 assist on the goal. That was Craven. Murray Craven here with his 12th. Having a good season he is. I think it was kind of a career season for him offensively, as it was for many players in 92-93. Nylander with his 10th helper there of the campaign. Hartford now up to 98 goals in the season, where they entered this game with 97. So we're halfway through regulation here. It's 2-1 St. Louis, 5 and 2. So that's basically automatically they've punted the puck, more or less, we could say. So 7 and 9. Eric Weinrich here, 7 and 9. To King, that is Pat Verbeek. Verbeek, a lot of assists. He needs to start picking up his goal scoring, and an ace will do the trick. So Verbeek from 9 is, who started off this sequence? 7. So Verbeek, 7, Eric Weinrich. The secondary assist will go to the Jack of Clubs, and the Jack of Clubs is Michael Nylander. So that's Verbeek from Weinrich and Nylander. So Verbeek, again, a lot of helpers, but that is just his 8th goal. 33 points, ties him for the team lead with Andrew Castles. Weinrich now up to point number 15, and Nylander got the assist there, the second of the game. So this is a tied hockey game now, 15 minutes into the second period, where St. Louis with the possession, 6 and 8, double checking that is Rick Zombo. Rick Zombo, he plays it for this, probably I was going to say Brett Hull again, but it's Brendan Shanahan again. Shanahan needs an ace or an 8 to 10 to score here, and the queen, which will beat Frank Pietrangelo. So St. Louis retaking the lead. That is Shanahan from Rick Zombo, and the four of clubs is Brett Hull picking up a helper there as well. So, oops. What am I trying to do here? That's right. I got to click on this to get back to St. Louis more quickly. That was Shanahan again with the goal. That is his 15th of the season. 24 points now for Shanahan. Hall with his, not three, but 13 assists and 32 points. And Rick Zombo as well, getting in that goal with his seventh assist of the season. 3-2 St. Louis. That's 7 sequences into the second. So here, the final sequence of period 2. Once again, the Blues with possession. Queen and 10. That's Nelson Emerson. He's having a strong season offensively. Emerson to the 8 and a 3. So fanning in the shot there was Rich Sutter. But after 2 periods of play, St. Louis with a 3-2 lead. Shuffling a sip of very weak iced coffee here since it's after midnight. This is basically coffee flavored water, I swear. Nothing like that coffee at bedtime. Anyway, so again, I'm not even sure if this is even going to work with the software. Let me see. We are now 11 minutes in, so I guess I'm averaging about 3 or 4 minutes a period here. A few more clicks, shuffle. So for the third period off, the opening draw is St. Louis with the puck 7 and 10, so that's automatically through for Ron Sutter. Ron Sutter gets the puck 2. The red joker, we got to hand that to Hall. And Hall makes no mistake about it. So it was 3-2 St. Louis after 2. Now, in real life, this is where I will divert from history. I mean, I could pretend that Frank Pietrangelo got injured, but or something like that. But in real life, he had surrendered 5 goals in 2 periods versus only 3 here. So I will assume he is still in the net. And that is Hall from Ron Sutter in the opening sequence. And again, Hall can assist twice on his goal. So that's goal number 20 for Hall on the season. And it was Ron Sutter, right? Number 7? Yes, Ron Sutter. So Ron Sutter here now up to 17 points on the season. Hall from Ron Sutter, 4-2 St. Louis, where it's going to be Hartford top dog. That was Castles, not Sanderson, but Andrew Castles. But 5 minutes in, Hartford still with possession here to 17 and a half minutes. Jeff Sanderson. Jeff Sanderson feeds it to 10 and Queen. Let me see Guy Hebert again. Kings and Red Queens. So that's going to be a great save by Guy Hebert on, I guess it would have been Andrew Castles. So to the halfway minute mark here of the third period, 6 and ace, that's automatically through for Michael Nylander again. He's had a lot of chances this game to impact the score, 5 and 3, though they won't get it done. That is, well, Nylander, a solo effort. He ran out of steam. So 3 and Red Jack now, where it's Kings and Queens will penetrate the Hartford defense. So that is Craig Janney on a probably tired at the end of his shift as well, coming up with the 3 and not the ace joker on the card. 4 and 2. So this is bobbling and botching it. Adam Burt here for Hartford. So that's up to minute 15 now. So I think I divert from the rules here a little bit. I'm going to say in the final, yes, it's technically 5 minutes, but St. Louis is up by 2. This is the only chance for Hartford to come back and tie. And 5 and 2 means they just give the puck away anyway. Let's see if Hartford can make it close. 4. So this is Adam Burt here from the back end. Burt with a 6. So even with like the St. Louis team defense lower, that's not going to matter. So a somewhat lackluster here, 4-2 final score, I would say. But things have a way of averaging out. Pittsburgh, this was an all-time great season for them. Kind of struggled out of the gate in this replay. I'll update things here in real time while I still got the video going. So Hartford now up to 24 games, and I should go no further without saying they've now lost the YouTube TV Championship. And St. Louis is now the new TV YouTube champions for this project, meaning the next game that I show from this project will be a game featuring Craig Janney, Brett Hall, and St. Louis. So 94, 88. Let me just double check to make sure that the points and everything check out. Yes, this was game number 300 of the project. I probably should have called some attention to that, but you're seeing it now, not a moment too soon. So just 708 games to go. I've been doing this over a year. Yeah. What can I say? I've been taking some breaks in between. And actually, after this, I think even more than replaying other games, what I'm going to do is I'm designing a game. In case you haven't heard, I'm still working on it. here and there behind the scenes. One of these days, one of these years or decades, perhaps, I'll get that done. So it is against St. Louis defeating Hartford. Basically, the score was cut in half. So 8-4 in real life, 4-2 here. The Blues improved to 500, back to 500, 12-12 and 1. And true NHL 500 was true NHL 500 back then. Hartford falls to 14-10. So Hartford, if I input the score here, this is another thing that I like to do. Hartford with just the 2 goals and St. Louis with 4 of them, um, which I should double check actually, make sure I didn't miss a goal. I wouldn't put it past myself, but yeah, 94, and they came into this game with 90. Hartford should be at 99 goals now. If I check this more often, I wouldn't have, admittedly, a few mistakes that are lingering, which may or may not get corrected when I go back over the numbers at season's end. So, I guess another thing, whoops, Hartford 2, St. Louis 4, that's right. So put that in St. Louis's as well. So St. Louis, let's see here for storylines. They've picked up 3 wins in a row. They got revenge over Detroit. And I guess they've won 4 of their last 5 as well. 5 of their last 6, we could say. That's the storyline for St. Louis. Whereas Hartford, yes, they got the big win over Boston. But other than that, I mean, they lost to Boston the game before. Oh, they beat Montreal and Quebec. Yeah, they've been very up down. They've been very seesaw so far in this replay. Because again, before that, they'd suffered a string of defeats, some of them pretty one-sidedly there. Um, so anyway, I'm going to say Pietrangelo stayed in the full game, and so what I'm going to do for him, 10 games played, and we'll go up to 400 or I'm going to say 58 minutes. That's usually what I do, kind of a default. So that would be, instead of 537, that's going to be 535, and 39 goals let in. So we can do the goals against average here for him. So 39 times 60 divided by 535 is 437 goals against average. So his average has actually come down a few points, but his record falls to 4-4. And for Hebert and St. Louis, it is let's see here. So this is game number 6 for him, and I think he saw part of a game there for one of them. 6. So this one is going to be 335. We'll say he stayed in all 60. Only let in 2 goals, so that'll be good for his numbers. Give him a little bit of a boost here since he's played in so few games. Did I say 19 goals? How many goals did I say? 19. So we compute this. 340 his goals against average is down to now. So it's dropped by 31 points, and his record is at 500. Anyway, I think that's about it. I'm just kind of in the mood, I guess, to talk about hockey. I was talking just to my father a little bit earlier about the. We finally get to talk about what happened. You know what? I'm going to say this on record. So I'm a Canadian expat living abroad. If you want to keep listening, yes, when Jack Hughes scored the game-winning goal in overtime, I let out a hard sigh for a hard second. But I mean, Hughes had his face caved in late in the third period by Bennett's stick. It wasn't dirty, but it was irresponsible. Um, Minutes before scoring that game-winning goal in overtime. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit tired. But what I'm trying to say here is that, and I've said this elsewhere, but I mean it no less. If that's not true classic Canadian hockey spirit, then I don't know what is. I think it's awesome for Hughes's sake. I think it's awesome that they did it for Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, in his honor with his family there, with his kids out on the ice. But I didn't watch the post game medal ceremony live, but I have since gone back and watched parts of it. Um, I take my hat off. I'm literally going to take it off here, though you can't see me on camera, to Connor Hellebuck. He was a wall in that game. Like, if anything, Canada played a better overall game in 26 than we did in 25 in that gold medal game, where Binnington had to stand on his head in overtime just so that Connor McDavid, and that gets me to the media. Maybe it's just the Canadian media, the short term memory, like acting like McDavid blew it in overtime, like he wasn't as recently as 1 year ago an overtime hero scoring in best on best. So not a fan of the media, not a fan of some of the reactions I know of some other Canadians. Please do not count me among them. It was a great game. Yes, I wish that Canada had have won the game, but I'm not mad at all that the U.S. I think, again, it's a great performance. It's great that they did it on the anniversary of the Miracle on Ice, and full credit to them. Again, they found a way to win. and that's hockey. And Werenski even outfoxing three of the best in the world just to get the puck to Hughes. And so, yeah, I'm not one of these people. Like, I don't like 3-on-3 overtime, but like the conditions were the same for both sides, and some calls were missed for both sides. Any Canadian that wants to play that angle, which again, now I'm just ranting. Now I'm on my soapbox, but like, we had 93 seconds, I think, of 5-on-3 earlier in the game. It didn't score, and the U.S. PK was perfect all tournament. So, um, yeah, you could go, well, yeah, well, if we had Crosby and this, that, and the other. But look, at the end of the day, the States can beat us in any given game on any given day. And that day, it was their day. And it was a great game. It was a great game. So I think it sucks some of the reactions, the aftermath. Look, it was a great game. So, anyways, there's my point oh 0.02 in like 2 or 3 minutes on that, in case anybody was curious. This video is now up to over 20 minutes, but anytime, any consideration that you give to any of this, it's never expected, but it is always appreciated when it happens. And go and enjoy your games, and I hope that this even worked. All right, bye for now.